Lovely. Hello and welcome. My name's Evan and I'm the proud founder of Murdoch and Co, the company that is bringing the SA80 and L85 series of rifle to you in the United States. So this video is going to be one that answers many questions that we get asked at either gun shows, online or through our emails. And that is, the L85 or SA80 is simply a BRN or AR180 firearm bullpupped. And today we're going to show that it is not particularly that, but it is definitely not the BRN Brownell's rifle bullpupped. So today I have a Brownell's upper, and we are going to compare it to the EM85, and we are going to see if parts are interchangeable. Now I will say our parts are interchangeable with SA80. SA80 components do interchange with this. I sadly forgot some of those parts today, but we will be doing a video and bringing them to some shows to demonstrate that. But again, today, people have said that we have simply gotten parts kits from the UK and we've thrown some BRN internals in there. This is completely far from the truth. Everything on this rifle is made by Murdoch and Co, minus the handguard, the SUSAT, the cocking handle, and only on our collector series, this particular gun, the magazine well, which was made in Nottingham originally. This is an original SA80 Nottingham made magazine well. But the receivers, the stampings, everything is 100% proprietary, made by Murdoch and Co. The only off-the-shelf parts that are interchangeable with this gun are the springs in the fire control group. So with that, let's go ahead, look at these rifles first of all from a distance and tell me if they are the same. So of course the EM85, like the SA80, is a sheet metal stamped upper and lower. The BRN is an aluminium extrusion. Completely different manufacturing methods, completely different feel, completely different experience. So as you can see right there, totally, absolutely different. But let's go ahead, strip this down. This strips down just like an SA80, and let's see if they are remotely the same. So upper capture pin is removable. That will be captured on our production gun, just like the original. Again, this is our pre-production prototype firearm. There's our lower, right there. We have our recoil rod assembly, cocking handle, and bolt. Okay, so here we have, of course, our EM85 pre-production prototype upper receiver, exactly indistinguishable from the L85, including our crush washer design, proprietary barrel, front trunnion, rear trunnion, obviously original handguard, guide rail, and everything of the like. Of course, we have BRN, so let's go ahead, strip this down. Okay, so just looking at the insides right here, again, completely different. And of course, the profiles also. Our sheet metal stamped, and you have an extrusion. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. So right here we have our bolt carrier groups, our cocking handles, and our guide rods. As you can see, they are completely different. So let's see if they first interchange. So we'll take the BRN, we'll get it into our bolt. You can see the springs physically don't fit, and the guide rods are too wide. Furthermore, the mainspring does fit down there, but the hole is also too big, so you get a lot of bounce. So not convertible, sorry, interchangeable. Next we'll take our design, BRN, and as you can see, you can't even, there's nowhere to put the bloody springs anyway. And of course, nothing will fit. Bolts also, you can see the U-shaped recoil mark from this firing, our pre-production prototype. The S80 gets the same mark on theirs. So let's go ahead and strip down, well, we'll start with the cocking handles. So this guy obviously fits into his. This one does not fit into ours. Original SA80, of course, fits flawlessly. BRN, far too big. So as you can clearly see, we do not use BRN components in our firearm. So let's go ahead and strip this down and take a further look. Firing pin, retaining pin, a little cotter pin, firing pin, cam pin, and bolt. Okay. There's our firing pin, retaining pin. There's our firing pin. There's our cam pin. And this particular gun, funny enough, actually, we are using the similar bolt, just minus the spring because it doesn't need that. And this, of course, for pressure testing. The bolt design on ours, we're selling interchangeable carriers because we want people to be able to buy replacement parts. That is very much a deliberate decision, but we have carriers that will accept, of course, the correct SA80 bolts, which are a lot thicker and chunkier with different size. You actually need a different size chamber because the bolts are so thicker, but we'll do a comparison of why we made changes, mostly for the consumer, and we want the guns to be able to run. But as you can see, we have our firing pins. Those are completely different, not remotely similar. Okay, all these little details. So let's go ahead, put this together, and see if it fits inside ours. I apologise for the dirt ahead of time. We're pretty tight on schedule here, and we've been test firing the guns every minute we can, so everything's a little bit dirty. Okay, so you've seen that stuff can't interchange. Let's see if our bolt goes into BRN. Far too big. Don't even bother. Let's see if BRN goes into ours. Maybe. Ah. Gets stuck. And it's not tall enough to go over the guide rail. And I don't want to scratch the paint further, but it does not fit. Let's see if the guide rods will fit. Not remotely. Okay. Of course, our guide rods will not fit because there's no place for the center spring to go. Let's go ahead and put this in. So hopefully that answers some questions that we get about the SA80 being BRN180. We'll use the spring. So hopefully that answers some questions about our firearm simply being a BRN kit or a conversion. It is not. It is 100% proprietary, and quite frankly, mine is being semi-auto, and the precautions we had to take to ensure that it was semi-auto, ours is 100% SA80. So again, last comparison. You tell me, let me know in the comments section if you think that those are the same firearm. Again, we're not talking, oh, of course the gas system, completely different on both rifles. Don't really need to explain that. I can give you a peek at ours. Obviously we have to remove the handguard for the BRN. There we go, and ours of course is interchangeable with HK components. All the correct gas settings, the holes, everything are 100% the same. No gas system on here is interchangeable with ours. So you let me know, ladies and gentlemen, that we're not knocking the BRN. We think it's a fantastically designed rifle. It obviously borrows from the AR180. It is not an AR180 though, and as you can see, they're totally different firearms. SA80 is not just a bullpup AR180. That's kind of a myth. Jonathan Ferguson talks about that in his book, and he says to call the SA80 a bullpup AR180 would be to call the AUG an AR180, a G36 an AR180, which they simply are not. So let's do a little outro and some closing notes on today's video. So thank you again for watching. Hopefully that answers some questions. We're not making this video to knock BRN180 or anything based off of it. We simply wanted to answer the question of, one, were we using BRN180 components? And two, how similar are they? And as you can see, they're completely different firearms. We're not upset at the community for that, because the truth is the community has never seen an SA80, let alone gotten hands-on with it like this. So now that you've seen it, hopefully I'll answer some questions. If you have anyone that says that they are the same, please send them this video. Thank you so much for watching. We appreciate your support and your time as always. Murdoch & Co is actively sharing these rifles. This is the start of something special. Our mission here is to bring British heritage to the USA and share these rifles. So even if you can't afford one, especially the collector series, we do understand they are an investment. Rest assured that we will actively be going to gun shows, range shows, shooting days, and sharing them. We also have our showroom in the works, so if you'd like to come see the entire collection of British arms, not just the SA80, we will be sharing those very publicly. If you'd like to support our mission, please, we have the production A3 coming, or a simple pair of socks from our lifestyle collection. But if you can't do any of that, feel free to share this. Of course, pictures, videos, share your passion and stories for the rifles. Our mission here again is to share the stories of this rifle and those who served with it. Thank you so much again. My name's Evan. I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.